Hi guys, welcome to this video. This is a review of Man United's game against Atalanta. We drew 2-2 with them, leaving us top of our Champions League table with 2 games left, one against Villarreal and one against Young Boys. A win against Villarreal at home would mean that we're through into the next group. So it's not a bad position to find ourselves all in all. But if you look at the performances, and it's really a common thread throughout the season, they haven't been up to scratch, and against tough opposition, we'll probably come unstuck as we have done already so far. Looking at the game itself, though, there's a lot to unpack. Firstly, the formation. So it was a 3 at the back, which I'm not surprised that Oli went with. We were a lot more solid against Spurs. Yes, you could argue it is against Spurs, who in attack don't really offer too much, but we did look more cohesive. And so I get why he maybe wanted to follow through with that against Atalanta. Staying defensively resolute would be a real strong foundation for us to get at least a point. Now, the only changes we made were BAILLY in for Lindelof, who was injured, Pogba in for McTominay, Pogba in for Fred, I should say, and Rashford in for Cavani. So all reasonable changes. And before the game, I was relatively optimistic. I thought we'd manage to get some sort of result anyway. But the performance itself, particularly, if we start with the first half, I don't think it was good enough. We started quite brightly trying to press them, and we created a couple of openings. One opening I remember is off the post. McTominay had a deflected shot. But aside from that, there wasn't much going forward from us. And we ended up spending a lot of the half sinking back into our half. Now, I don't mind us playing deep. I don't mind us, playing like a mid-low block, that sort of thing. But we need to engage and be a bit tenacious when they do enter our half, and really try and get to our men. Problem being, I felt as though we weren't really doing that. We were quite passive and actually sinking back further and further off them, almost like we were a bit nervous to engage. And that was, I think, a key problem for us. We ended up actually going 1-0 down. Ball was played over to the left. The guy cuts in, crosses, sort of passes it across the box, and then it's finished first time. You look at that goal, and a couple of things really stuck out to me in the replay. Firstly, I like the way that we all rushed back to try and get numbers behind, and defend the opportunity. However, if you look at Pogba on the replay, he's sort of ambling back while everybody else is sprinting. Now, if he sprints back, he puts himself in the position cutting off the passing lane, which was eventually used, which found the goal scorer. It's quite a simple thing that he could have done, and it was a bit frustrating, I'd say, that he didn't. Secondly, the goalkeeping was a little bit suspect. Some people said that maybe De Gea was unsighted, maybe there was a Atalanta player offside, but I didn't really see that. I felt he could have done a bit better. Anyway, it was 1-0, and I think after we concede, generally it looks we have our best spells of games, and vice versa. When we do score, we tend to actually play a bit poorly after that. But strangely enough, we didn't really prompt any reaction from us. We didn't improve. In fact, the only thing that did happen was Varane coming off with an injury for Greenwood, which was a positive change. I wasn't surprised to see us to go 4 at the back, and not sort of maintain a 3 at the back. I thought at some stage in the game we would move to that formation, because I think we carry more of an attacking threat with a 4 at the back anyway. And Greenwood ended up being a part of the first goal, our first goal. We're playing a nice through ball through the middle to Fernandes into the box, who then lays it off really nicely to Ronaldo, who takes a touch and then finishes the opportunity. So it was a really, really nice move, our best move of the game for sure. Just very crisp and nice combination between us. So we went into the break 1-1. Not a great first half all in all, but we went into the second half, and I was hoping again that we'd see an upturn up in our performances, but I didn't really. I still felt like we were very sloppy on the ball. Atalanta, yes, they pressed us, and they were up for it, but I do feel like we made our own issues, giving away sloppy balls, just not having that on the ball quality required, causing us so many issues. And, I think Pogba was a real culprit for that. He was really off his game, giving away the ball for fun. He was taking way too many touches in tight areas, welcoming pressure. And also, I think he just, for some reason, was really insistent on initiating contact with his marker, almost like trying to hold him off, which wasn't serving him well at all. If anything, it was to his detriment, and he was allowing people to swarm him and take the ball off him. In the end, he was actually subbed off for, who was he subbed off for? For Matic, and Cavani came on for Rashford, who also had a quiet game. We then conceded a goal, a very sloppy goal, reminiscent of the Spurs goal we conceded last season, where they got a free kick and they played it really quickly while we were snoozing, and ended up scoring. BAILLY in this situation was likely the culprit for me. You know, he switched off and allowed his marker, not his marker, he allowed the 9, maybe 5-6 yards to run into space, and then obviously finished that. Maguire couldn't quite get cover him. So that was unfortunate. 2-1 down. After then, we kind of huffed and puffed, but didn't really create much at all. It was looking like it was going to fizzle out and we were going to actually come away with no points. But Van der Beek and Sancho were subbed on. I was a bit frustrated at the time of the sub. Like, I really felt as though you could have given them maybe at least 15 minutes to try and impact the game. But you gave them, 5 minutes maybe to impact, which was, very difficult. Later on in the games, a game like this, the opposite team are going to time waste. So any time you do have is going to be lessened. And so if you think they came on with 4 minutes left and added time, let's call it 7 minutes, and then there's time when they're time wasting. Like, they probably have about 5 minutes to impact the game, which for me is just really not enough. Either way, when they did come on, they were very, very sharp, very, very lively. Sancho and Van der Beek, nice combinations I saw. I think Van der Beek also had a shot that was saved. They looked really good, and were definite positive things to take away from the game. In the end, there's a bit of a sort of what would I call it? A bit of pinball in the middle of the pitch, just outside in the middle of sort of the pitch, just outside the D. And Greenwood then lays it off to Ronaldo, who finishes it nicely with a volley. Great finish. Again, he gets us out of a jam, as he does. Real potent goal scorer is Ronaldo. Great goal, and it ends up being 2-2. My man of the match would be BAILLY. I thought he was really, really good for the most part, making some real key blocks that would, without them, we probably would have been 3 or 4 goals down. Yes, he made a mistake for the second goal, but if I think about his total impact, it was more than positive. Like, he had a good game, particularly because he hasn't actually he hasn't started the game for us for a little bit. You could give it to Ronaldo, and I wouldn't argue too much against that. 2 goals, 2 very important goals for us. Very solid. But, my general outlook on the game is a bit sour. The performance isn't there. It's the same thing a couple of weeks ago after our other Champions League game, and Scholes after the game was saying, look, if we play like this on the weekend against Liverpool, we're going to end up getting beaten really badly. And I feel that same way after this game. We've got City on the weekend. If we play at that level, they're going to end up causing us more than a lot of trouble. They're going to end up probably annihilating us, and it will be in another embarrassing game. So, we really need to up the level. You look at somebody like Chelsea, and even Wolves. I watched them, Wolves early in the week against Everton. And you don't need to watch them for very long to see that they have a clear idea of playing. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're executing it, and they're committing to that. Us, it just looks like we don't have much of an idea. When we play out of the back, it looks like it's off the cuff. Any attacks, looks like it's off the cuff. When we defend, when we press, looks like it's off the cuff. Like, you really do wonder what we're training. And it's so frustrating because I want Ollie to do well. I'd love for him to be the person to sort of win us major honours like Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. But we cannot get to that level with this level of tactical acumen. It just doesn't work. Teams like Liverpool, they've got all, Solskjaer often references intangibles, character, drive, determination, all these things. But teams like Liverpool and top teams, they have that in abundance already. And they have quality in abundance. The thing that separates them, I think, in my opinion, is, us and them, is just the tactical side. We really need to get that together, and quickly, because the weekend, like I said, could be extremely embarrassing. That's my review of the game. Sorry, I can't say anything more positive. You know, there were some positives to draw from it. You know, Sancho and Van der Beek looked sharp. Bailly comes back and looked good, and he didn't get injured. What else was positive? I thought Wan-Bissaka, he looks like he's getting more and more confidence moving forward, and actually attacking and being part of our build-up as well. But aside from that, oh, and the result as well, that is a positive thing, definitely. But yeah, all in all, it's just not good enough. I really want to see improvements. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a preview for the Man City game this weekend. Preview will probably be up on Friday, and I'll do a review after the game as well. Hopefully with a smile on my face. Hopefully it's not too traumatizing, but we'll see. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you at the next video.